by going through the Toastmasters promise, taking the Toastmasters promise. I would want us to do this in a community manner. So I'll start, and I want someone else, so I start, take the first promise, I want someone else to take the second promise, and it goes on that way until we take the entire 10 promises. Please feel free to put on your videos. It's a virtual meeting, we know, but it'll be nice for our videos to be on so that we have that feel of interaction, that feel of the physical meeting in the virtual space. I will share my screen now. And please, while you're not speaking, let your mic stay muted to reduce or avoid interferences and distractions while someone has control of the virtual lectern. Awesome. I can see very few. Only 3 persons have their videos on. Come on, people, put on your video. Don't be shy. Right, we're all friends. Don't be shy. Put on your videos. All right, a Toastmasters promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly.
To prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program.
To prepare and fulfill.
Please go ahead.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
Okay. To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations.
To help the club maintain a positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so.
To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy.
To bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers.
To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs.
To act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you most graciously, everyone that participated in reciting the Toastmasters promise. To continue with the meeting, permit me to welcome to the virtual lectern, the club president for AWN Toastmasters Club, to give us her opening remark. She is a delectable young lady, a sustainability enthusiast. She's a communications expert. She's none other than Toastmaster Natasha Ivory. Madam President, you have the virtual lectern.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's a pleasure to have you all back. Really glad to see so many wonderful faces. It'd be great to have a few more with more cameras on. So today, the theme of the meeting is The Only Way is Up. We thought about this theme particularly at this time because a lot of people are facing crazy hardship. Things are really, really tough, and sometimes it does seem like things are quite dark generally, but we just wanted to provide a space for everybody to be able to air their own thoughts and their feelings and speak as they feel during the table topics or during the prepared speeches and express themselves. That's what Toastmasters is all about. And just remember that today might be hard, but tomorrow hopefully will be better. And the only way is up, really. So I am now going to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. We have Toastmaster Chidi. DTM Chidi.
Thank you most graciously, Madam President. Good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to AWN Toastmasters Club. Who's excited to be here this evening? Or rather, this afternoon. I understand it's not evening yet. Who's excited to be here this afternoon? If you are, please unmute and say, I am. Use the virtual icons. Give me a thumbs up.
I am.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
Yay. All right. So welcome, everyone. And the theme of today's meeting is the only way to go is up. Correct? The only way to go is up. Now, going up is not about climbing a physical ladder, even though you can attribute it to that, but it's about understanding that your focus should be on being better than you were yesterday. Your focus should be on improving yourself. Your focus should be on being a better version of yourself. Today, I will be your MC of the meeting, but I will not be working alone. I have a 2IC who has a squad that will support her to ensure that today's meeting go smoothly. And that person will serve as our general evaluator. Our general evaluator for this evening, this afternoon, is Toastmaster Aderonke Adekambi. She's a project manager who enjoys teaching as and partakes in that as an extracurricular activity. She loves teaching, she loves reading. She's a member of Surulere Toastmasters Club. She's actually the immediate past president of that club. And she is the current club coach for AWN Toastmasters. She has a mantra that says, to thyself be true. Please join me with a resounding round of applause to welcome our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Aderonke Adekambi.
Thank you very much for that robust introduction. As Toastmaster Chidi has rightly said, I'll be serving as the general evaluator for the day. Now, my role as the general evaluator is very simple, it's basic. I will just be evaluating the meeting and checking, just like a physician would do the health check on his or a patient. So today I'm not going to be doing the evaluations alone. As you know, in Toastmasters, evaluation feedback is our breakfast, is hey, Toastmaster Jane, thank you. I am not a DTM yet.
And I think she's a DTM, Chidi, Toastmaster Chidi. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were talking to me.
Yes,
apologies for that.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, DTM. Yes, I totally thank you for that correction. So, feedback is our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'll not be doing that alone. So I'll be introducing my team. And I'm going to start with the grammarian today. So Toastmaster Natasha Ibori, are you ready? Can you please explain your role as the grammarian for the day?
yes. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, I will be looking out for people's grammar, their use of interesting words, and how they are able to effectively communicate. I'll be sharing my screen so I can pull up the word of the day. And I'll also put it in the chat. So the word of today is amelioration. Can everyone say amelioration?
Amelioration.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, say amelioration, as hopefully during this meeting, we should all be saying that word a lot. The amelioration is the act of making something better or improving something. So the example would be progress brings with it the amelioration of the human condition. So you could also potentially use synonyms like improvement. And so during today's meeting, I would love to hear as many people ameliorate their speeches by using the word of the day. Oh, and I'll also
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Okay, sorry, I thought you were done with your explanation. Can I go ahead, ma'am?
Yeah, I just realized I'm also the R counter, but you can reintroduce me if you want.
Okay. Okay, please explain your role as the heart counter.
Yeah, so as the art counter, I'll also be paying close attention to your use of pause fillers, like anything that can make your speech sound less prepared and less polished. So I'll be keeping note of that and counting up to see who's going to be the biggest pause filler user.
Okay, thank you, TM Natasha. I'm not sure if it's from my end or your volume sounds a bit low, but I'm sure they heard you well. If you heard that well, can you give a sound, send a smiley? Because I think I struggled a bit. Okay, I guess it must be from my end. So I'm going to introduce the next role player, which is the timer for this auspicious event. Toastmaster Callistus, can you explain your role as the timer for this event?
Okay, good afternoon or good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Callistus Okafor Debuchibe, and I'll be acting as the timer for this event. My role will be to ensure that the time allotted for all aspects of this meeting are adhered to, and also for speakers who will be speaking, I will also be guiding them on their compliance with the time allotted for their speeches. I'll be making use of 3 cards. The green card is to indicate that you're well within time. The yellow card is to warn the speaker when he's getting close to the end of his time or time allotted, and then the red card is to indicate that time is up and the activity should move along. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my able timer. The last, but in no way the least person on my team is the hack counter, and that would be the division director herself, DTM Chidi. Please, madam, can you explain what your role entails?
Thank you most graciously, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. As the hack master, I will serve as the listening evaluator. I would evaluate how well we listen in the course of today's meeting, and I would carry out this function by asking questions based on what's being said during the meetings. Feedback from participants will let me know how well we listened. Bear in mind that a listening skill is one of a critical skill that we need to develop. I will encourage everyone to please listen attentively to everyone who comes to the virtual lectern to speak. Thank you. Madam GE, over to you.
Thank you very much. So I'll briefly explain what my role is as general evaluator for this meeting. Now, during the meeting, I will take notes of everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duty. At the end of this meeting, I'm going to come back with my team to give your report on how well you have fared at that meeting. Thank you so much for this time, and I'm going to hand over the virtual lectern to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you most graciously, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you to you and your team for that very explicit introduction and explanation of your role. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a typical Toastmasters meeting is split into 3 parts. The first part is, one part is the prepared speech segment, where members who have taken time to develop their speech will come and present those speeches to us. The second part of the meeting is the table topic segment, where members and guests are called up to speak off the cuff. But you're given a topic right there on the spot, and you're given 1 to 2 minutes to share your thoughts on that topic. The third part is the evaluation segment, where everything that has happened in the course of the meeting gets evaluated. From the start, the moment the meeting was called to order, right to that very point. Remember that the only way to go is up. So let's start the journey this evening. Today we will start with the prepared speech segment. And we have 2 speakers who have painstakingly developed their speeches and are here to serenade us with them. Our first speaker for this evening is Toastmaster Jane Osemwingu. Toastmaster Jane will be speaking from the persuasive influence part. This is a second part. She has achieved competency in effective coaching. Completed 1 part. This is her second part. To evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Jane this evening is Toastmaster Austin Madrigal, St. Austin himself. Toastmaster Austin, please give us the objective of the speech of Toastmaster Jane.
Good evening, everyone. I'm actually driving, but Toastmaster Jane will be speaking on mental health. It's about evaluation and feedback. This is her first speech. She is expected to speak on any topic. After this project, she is expected to incorporate any feedback she's going to get. And we believe she will do this between 5 and 7 minutes. Please listen to Toastmaster Jane and you wouldn't regret your dates. Remember, the only way is looking up. Thank you very much. Back to you, DTM Chidi.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Austin, for that introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, for those who do not know Toastmaster Jane is the charter president of AWN Toastmasters Club. She is a communications enthusiast, and she is someone who will not stop at carrying out any activity or any action that will ameliorate your life, ameliorate your job, ameliorate whatever activity you are involved in. And I believe this evening, she will ameliorate our lives and our understanding of mental health with her speech. Toastmaster Jane Osemwingu, you have the virtual lectern. Remember, you have 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you so much, our amiable divisional director. I just want to say you're doing a great job. Thank you so much, ma'am. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm super excited to be here today and to my club, to my May club. So I'll be talking about the mental health. According to Jonathan Hashnett, he's a renowned actor in America, and he says, "I keep moving ahead, as always, knowing deep down inside that I'm a good person and I'm worthy of a good life." Yes, you're worthy of a good life. One beautiful afternoon morning in Halifax, I just wanted to stroll down to the shopping mall to just do some window shopping, just enjoy the cool, beautiful breeze in Halifax. So I got into a shop and I saw, in the entrance to the shop, I saw a little young girl. Yeah, she's maybe in the mid-20s. She's an Asian by origin. She was looking so depressed. She's looking so sad. She was so, you could see that sadness was all over her. So I have to approach her that, sorry, hey miss, what's wrong? She was wailing, she started wailing, and she said she's just tired, that she's just depressed, that she just feels unloved, that she really feels that nobody cares about her, that she doesn't know what to do. What I did was just to empathize and try to encourage her and make her feel that she's loved. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, mental health is really an issue. It's very imperative that we must always check and know that we are on the right balance in our mental health. Not everybody you see driving, working, or even on his or her own desk at work are really having the fit mental health. I think it's a must check. Fellow Toastmasters, I guess I would like to ask, how many of us really take our mental health into consideration? Can I see that through the emoji? Just want to be sure that we really conscious of our mental health. Just can I see that through our reaction button to see how many of us really intentionally check our mental health? Thank you, TM Callistus. Thank you, the TM Chidi. I know you do that regularly. Thank you so much for those who responded. Fellow Toastmasters, I guess, what is mental health? A mental health is a state of well-being in which individual, in his or her own capacity, can cope with enormous stress of life and make contribution to his or her own community. We all know that in our day-to-day life, there's stress, even going to work, traffic. If we try to do well in our role as well at work, there's a little stress that goes around with it. Even those that have married, those that are even single in their family life, there are so little stress that you also undergoes as well. I would like to say that a mental health is a must check in our present time right now. We see people that are physically fit, we think they're physically fit, and that has everything going on with them, but you see them have suicidal thoughts, or some even commit suicide. Fellow Toastmaster guests, mental health also include not just even our physical body anyways, but it also entails emotional, psychological, and our social well-being. The fact that you don't feel good about yourself, that's a mental health issue, is a great sign. So what are the signs and symptoms that we must look at? What are the signs and symptoms that is a sign of a mental illness? One, feeling sad and down at all times. When you see someone who is constantly feeling sad and not happy, that's a great sign of a mental health. Two, inability to concentrate. So when you already have this fact that you can't really concentrate to gather your thoughts together or do one or two tasks consistently, that's a sign. The third one is when you have an excessive fear and worry. In life, we know there's worry, there's stress of life, but when it's becoming too excessive and uncontrollable, that's a sign. The fourth one is when there's an extreme change in the mood. When you change from highs to extremely low, that's a great sign. The fifth step is withdraw from any friends and activities. When you see someone who just instantly withdraw from activities and social engagements that he or she indulged probably before now, that's also a sign. And also, the final step is when someone has a suicidal thoughts. That's a great sign. You see someone talking about, I'm actually tired, I just want to end everything and all, having those thoughts, that's a great sign that this person is having a mental issue. Fellow Toastmasters, I guess, I know that the worries of life, trying to want to meet up to expectations, trying to want to do better than my friends, my colleagues, and all, has brought a lot of people a lot of mental stress issues in day-to-day life. So what are ways I can think that we can improve and check our mental health to see if we are on track, and also to way to improve and also get better? First, value yourself. You must always value yourself. Tell yourself say positive affirmation to yourself, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and show respect to yourself. Secondly, take care of your body, eat right, engage in the right things, do exercise. Just start steady, surround yourself with positive people like the TM Chidi. Every day on our WhatsApp stories, on our stories, she always say positive things to herself, always affirm positive things. Surround yourself to positive people who want to see the best out of you, who want to see your strengths, not your weakness. The fourth step is ask for help. Always ask for help. Whenever you're tired, ask for help. Reach out to anyone as possible you think that can help you. Ask for help. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong for you to ask for help. The final step is learn how to deal with stress. Just tell yourself that this will come and this will go. No matter what, everybody will definitely undergo stress. So just for you to develop that ability by engaging yourself with the right set of people and know that nothing is permanent. Fellow Toastmasters and girls, I'd like to encourage each and every one of us today in this meeting to always take our mental health seriously. It's very imperative that our mental health should be on the check on a day-to-day basis. Reach out to friends and families that you know that have withdrawn and they are not doing things that they used to do before. I'll leave you with this quote by Glenn Close, a very popular American actress who has won series of Oscar award. And she says, what mental health needs is more sunlight, more can-do, and more unashamed conversation. The Toastmaster.
Wow, for a minute there, I forgot I was the Toastmaster of the day. I was taken with that speech, and remember I told us that Toastmaster Jane was going to ameliorate our thoughts with her speech on mental health, and she did just that. Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Jane, for reawakening our awareness of the importance of mental health and what we should do when we find ourselves in a fix. Thank you very kindly. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, our second speaker for this evening is Toastmaster Austin Madueguna. Toastmaster Austin will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ibrahim Kazim. Toastmaster Ibrahim Kazim is another coach for AWN Toastmasters Club. And let me not go deep into his introduction. The general evaluator will introduce him when it's time for him to give his report. But at this time, Toastmaster Ibrahim Kazim, please give us the objective of Toastmaster Austin's speech.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Member is to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Ibrahim. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Austin will be speaking from the persuasive influence part. He's titled his speech, My Story as a Protege, and he'll be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Who is Toastmaster Austin? Who wants to know who he is? Toastmaster Austin is, for lack of a better word, he's a human extraordinaire. He's a project manager. He's a business owner. He's a Toastmaster at heart. I don't think you would ever visit any Toastmasters club or attend any Toastmasters club and not find Toastmaster Austin there. If he's not there, his name will be there. His personality will be there. And he's here with us this evening to speak about his experience, his time as a protege. Toastmaster Austin, you have the virtual lecture and you have 5 to 7 minutes to share your story with us.
It was John C. Maxwell who says, continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. And one of the wisest kings that ever lived, King Solomon, it tells us that without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established. There are counselors in the house. There are mentors in the house. Please, lend me your audience as I speak on how Toastmaster envisions mentoring and my mentoring, my protege experience. In Toastmasters, you will be expected to spend at least 6 months under a mentor who would guide you, who would counsel you, support you, share their experience with you, guide you in your speeches, in your role play, give you feedback. Because in Toastmasters, feedback is the breakfast of champions. Well, I say that positive feedback is the oxygen of champions. They're champions in the house. That is how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. For you to be a mentor, you'll have mentored someone for at least 6 months. You'll have completed an entire path, and you will have received a feedback from the protege. A virtual mentor is one who guides, supports, counsels online through a global community, just like COVID-19 encouraged us to do so. Because there are lockdowns, and many of us started working from home. That working from home help ameliorates the spread of a contagious virus called COVID-19. My experience as a protege started well before the year 2016, when I eventually became a registered Toastmaster. I was counseled, I was supported, I was given feedback by various distinguished Toastmasters. I remember Toastmaster Tonye Tamino, the charter president of DA Toastmasters, who did not fail to give me constructive feedback. Of course, we had issues here and there, but we are free to tell each other the truth. Ultimately, we got to know each other better. Would I say it's an advantage? I became someone who was like a resourceful go-to person, that anything he wanted done in the office, especially for Toastmasters, he will get Austin involved. I learned that the act of leadership is all about service. Service, service, service. Apart from Tonye Tamuno, I remember Toastmaster Bosede Oyekunle. I was passionate about speaking. I was passionate about gleaning, speaking and leadership roles. And she knew I was becoming a shark, like a shark in a pond. And so she encouraged me to reach out, go beyond the frontiers of Delta Africa Toastmasters Club, that I should go to all the clubs. That led me to a prestigious club called AWN. Remember, I told you I learned about service. I so served that I saw myself as a member of AWN. And a day came, they decided to recognize people that have imparted them. Behold, I was recognized. That was quite humbling. Dear Toastmasters in the house, what I learned about being in protege is you have to respect the time or the boundaries of your mentors. You have to be responsible for your own self-development. Yes, it's all about you. Do not wait for someone to follow you up. Go all out there, reach out for help, cry for help, I need help. And if you cry for help in Toastmasters, you will surely get help. If you are here and you're not yet a mentor and you spent a donkey years in Toastmasters, what are you waiting for? Service is all about giving value, and as you give value, you obtain value. Get back something. Indeed, I tell you, to ameliorate any gaps you might have, leadership skills, communication skills, strategic networking skills, get a mentor or get a protege. It's a challenge to you. Apart from these two people I had mentioned, oh, how can I forget Toastmaster, DTM rather, Alex Abotia, a former area leader in Division F, one of the former presidents of Delta Africa Toastmasters Club. He told me, Austin, I've watched you over and over, and I knew you will contribute much better as a leader in my tenure as an area leader. He made me club growth director. I visited so many clubs. Of course, that area, I believe area 19, former area 19 in Division F, grew. Former area 17 rather, in Division F, grew. I learned to visit so many clubs, and as a result, I was able to connect with great gentlemen and ladies in Toastmasters community. And these people have been of help one way or the other, professionally, in business. Yes, in business. Toastmasters is not about speaking and leading. It's all about enhancing our value as human beings. If you're not getting what I just shared, what are you waiting for? Get a protege, get a mentor. Get a protege to mentor and get a mentor to guide you. There are Toastmasters in the house. It was Aristotle, a famous Greek philosopher, that says, we are repeatedly what we do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. You have to be first intentional, consistent to be able to grow, to be able to harness all these values that I've shared with you. What are you waiting for? Go get a mentor today. If you're a mentor or you see yourself as a mentor, go get a protege today. Thank you very much. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Hello.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Go get a mentor today if you're a protege. And if you're a mentor, go get a protege today. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Austin, for sharing your story and your journey and the importance of mentoring with us. All right, that's the end of our prepared speeches this evening. At this point, we'll go on a 5-minute break, and I want us to use this time to meet our guests. So please let us meet you. If you're a guest, please unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and tell us what your experience with the meeting has been thus far. Let's start with Amy. Amy?
Hi guys, good
Amy.
afternoon. My name is Stephanie.
Good afternoon.
My name is Stephanie. I'm from Economic Intelligence team. Today is my first time joining, just to have a feel of what or how the meeting goes and how the Toastmaster is. Thank you very much for having me in your meeting.
Thank you, Stephanie, and we're happy to have you here. Blessing, I'm just going to call off your names. Please feel free to unmute your mic and introduce yourself. Blessing, Daniel, Fombs.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Daniel. This is my second time attending the Toastmasters meeting. It's impactful so far. look forward to the rest of it.
Thank you, Daniel. We're happy to have you. Liz, Forms, Taiwo. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to us.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Taiwo Adu. So, work with Yetunde. She actually introduced me to this section, but incidentally, I've been in and out of meetings. So, I'm being really emotional, but of course, definitely I will attend the next session and I hope it's going to be impactful. Thank you.
Thank you, Taiwo. Don't worry, the meeting is not over.
Okay.
Just started. Yes, we just had a prepared speech session. We have the fun parts coming up, so you really have not missed so much. You have a long way to go with us, and we're happy to have you here. Hi, Liz.
All right, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so my name is Liz from Lento Toastmasters. I saw the flyer, the invite on the division group page, and I felt it would be nice to be here to learn from the masters. And I just learned something about being a protege because I'm a new member in Toastmasters, and it's been an educative one for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Liz, and thank you for visiting us today. And I can assure you, being a protege, it's hard work, but it's beautiful because you will learn from your mentor and your mentor will also learn from you. So it's almost like a cross-fertilization of ideas and experiences, and everyone benefits and grows from that mentor-protege relationship. Thank you. Do you have any other guests who's willing to introduce themselves? Forms.
Hi, my name is Fumbi. I was invited to just listen in and see if I could, learn one or two things. And so far, it's been insightful, and I hope to see what I'll learn, going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to our visiting Toastmasters. Abdullahi, you're the first on my participant list. Let us know who you are.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Abdullahi Jimo. I'm a baby Toastmaster. This is my third time at AWN Toastmasters.
Oh, wow. So I see someone who I probably missed. Toastmaster Abdullahi, thank you for letting us know you're an old Toastmaster, a grandpa Toastmaster. And thank you for visiting us. Oluwaso Owoyemi. Oluwaso, do you want to introduce yourself to us?
Hello, everyone. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Oluwaso. I was invited by Stephanie just to, get a feel of what this was about and just see how it would be beneficial for myself. So I'm looking forward to what this brings. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you for being here. And thank you, Stephanie, for inviting someone. I know I did say try to bring someone, and you did. More than one person, actually. So well done, Stephanie, and thank you to all our guests. Thank you for being here. Please feel free to the club president, Natasha will reach out to you. Please feel free to share your details with her so that we can engage with you after today's meeting. All right, let's move on. The only way to go is up. We've concluded the first part of the meeting. Now we go into the second part, which is one of the interesting parts of a Toastmasters meeting, table topics. And the table topic section is that one section that prepares you for impromptu speaking. We find ourselves in certain situations where we'll ask a question, maybe our friends ask us a question, or we're in the office and a question is asked in a team meeting. And we thinking, how do I address this? So what Table Topics does, it helps you develop that skill of thinking of your feet, putting your thoughts together in a very short time, and being able to respond to impromptu questions with clarity. And your response will make sense to your listeners. So this evening, we will go through Table Topics. Who's excited for Table Topics? Who's excited for Table Topics? Who's excited? If you are, please give me the thumbs up. If you're ready for Table Topics, please give me the thumbs up. And this is one segment of the meeting that is open to everybody, Toastmasters and guests alike. So it's not like the prepared speech where you have to be a member to participate. So here in Table Topics, you can experiment on how well you are an orator, or how well you can, address questions even when you don't know you're going to be called on. And our Table Topics master for this evening is a gentleman who likes to introduce himself as the most handsome gentleman in Toastmasters Nigeria. He is the Program Quality Director of Division F and the past president of Ikeja Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo, you have the virtual lectern. Please take the Table Topics segment away. We have 20 minutes for Table Topics. You have the virtual lectern.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. It ameliorated my mood, and I'm quite certain that it would also, in turn, ameliorate today's meeting. So without much ado, we'll go straight to the Table Topic session. And I would love to start first by calling on the Toastmaster, or maybe a guest. Taiwo, are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
I'm a guest.
Okay, Taiwo, you'll be my second speaker. I'm trying to get a Toastmaster first. Oh, interesting. My number one Toastmaster at Surulere Toastmasters Club will go first. Toastmaster okay, will go first. So Toastmaster Road, the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say? What is the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say? You have 2 minutes.
Table Topics Master, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. I assume you can hear me. So the question is, what is the most sensible thing I've heard someone say? So December 27th, 2018, my dad went out and it was taking time for him to get back. We're trying to reach him. His phone was ringing, but he wasn't picking it up. Shortly after, my mom came to my room to inform me that my dad was not picking his call, which almost never happens. We had a knock at my gate. We opened the door, and it was one of my neighbors that came to tell us that my dad was inside the car. Apparently, he parked the car. The AC, the glass of the car, the windows of the car, were wound up. He was inside, his headlamps on. And by the time we got to the car, apparently he passed out, and somehow he was able to park the car just by the side of the road, and it was close to the house. So we got there, we opened the door, we saw that he was unconscious, and then we wanted to drive to the hospital. I offered to drive the car because I knew how to drive. Then somebody came up with a suggestion that because of what I just said, I felt I was strong enough to drive the car, but the man said he knows it could be a delayed reaction, that instead of driving the car, I should allow another person to drive the car and take us to the hospital, which was actually a very sensible suggestion. At the end of the day, the person drove the car, drove us to the hospital. My dad received the attention. It wasn't as serious as we felt. Looking back, I thought of it. I felt I was strong enough to drive, but I knew that I was in no way strong enough, like now with the benefit of hindsight. So I imagine what could have even resulted if I had driven that car that night. So really, it didn't look like it was sensible at that time because I wanted to drive my dad. But then looking back, honestly, I can give it to the guy and say that that's probably one of the most sensible decisions I have heard anyone make in my lifetime. Thank you very much. Back to Table Topics Master.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ronke. In the process of trying to get the second question, it leaked. Let's hope. So we already have a second question out. However, I'm not going to ask that. So back to Toastmaster Taiwo. Toastmaster, rather. The question is, what is the one thing you would most like to change about the world? Returning to Toastmaster Taiwo. What is the one thing you would most like to change about the world? You have 2 minutes. Are you there, Taiwo?
Yes, so thank you. So this is my first time here, but of course, this is no excuse. I like this topic because, like I said earlier, I was actually invited by Yetunde and I see them. So Yetunde is a zona head in my group. So we have something we call exempt call, right? So exempt speaking. So I like it when they talk about this, they could just pick them up to say, okay, you know what, like any topic and they talk about it. So I'll just try as much as possible. The one thing I would like to change about the world is maybe probably death, right? I wouldn't want anything like death, so I lost my brother at a very tender age. And to me, that actually was a turning point in my life. So I actually wish that we live and live forever. I don't know how possible that is. So maybe that is about one thing I would like to, change about the world, that we live and live forever. Nothing like death.
Okay, thank you so much, intending Toastmaster Taiwo. Our next speaker, intending Toastmaster, I believe, Callistus Okafor. Intending Toastmaster Callistus Okafor, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, perfect. The question
is a timer, and he's a Toastmaster.
Oh, no, let me pick someone else. I want a guest.
Yes, no.
Intending Toastmaster, Foluwasho Oweyemi, is she Toastmaster?
No, my guest.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for identifying yourself. It's a very simple one. I've been wondering lately, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? That's the question. If we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? You have 2 minutes.
I don't know. I think mistakes come with shame sometimes. You're afraid that if you make a mistake, it comes with the shame of everyone knowing that maybe you don't know something, or they can identify something that you're not. Maybe you're portraying yourself as something. So it comes with shame, it comes with guilt, it comes with other emotions that I think that we're not ready to face. So you'd rather stay in your comfort zone because you know what could potentially happen. So even if you know that you learn from it, the other emotions that come with it, you're not ready to deal with. That's what I think.
All right, thank you so much for that. Daniel, you're an intending Toastmaster, right?
Oh, sorry. Maybe let me show you my
Daniel?
No,
Obviously, it's gone back.
I didn't get that. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, what did you say? Toastmaster or not?
No, I'm a guest.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being here. You know what, Daniel? I will ameliorate your Toastmaster experience now by asking you this simple question. As a guy, which is more important to you? To love or be loved? To love or be loved? You have 2 minutes.
Require a few seconds to think. Okay. Okay, at least I guess there's no wrong answer. I believe it's to be loved. Can you hear me? Okay. I believe it's to be loved, as it's very important for people, especially men, in an environment such as ours, to be able to feel vulnerable, to be able to be themselves, as a lot of, I believe, this is based on my belief, a lot of people are not allowed to be themselves due to one reason or the other, what others may think, what they might think others may think in that situation. So I believe being loved and truly loved will allow someone to be vulnerable enough, and I believe everybody needs that form of vulnerability. That is my honest opinion. There's also the other side of it, which some people may argue, to be able to love is also very important, as it can soften one's heart as well. So like I said, there's really no right or wrong answer. So I believe, because vulnerability is one of the most important things to me, and also I believe for my gender as well, I believe to be loved is the most important thing. I don't know if I've lapsed up to 2 minutes, but that's my answer.
All right, then. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Returning to Master Stephanie, you're up next, please. With the Russia-Ukraine war, it's got me thinking lately that can there really be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, or peace without war? In your opinion, can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, peace without war? Oh, Toastmaster Stephanie, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay, please.
Okay, I'd say, well, I guess it boils down to no good thing comes easy. Hence, I would say perhaps before we get to a certain level of happiness, maybe we'll experience some form of sadness, or sometimes I would say some bad things have to happen for you to enjoy or what's the word? The word is not coming to me, but I'd say sometimes maybe we have to go through rough patches. Hence, there has to be sad. Not that there has to be sadness before happiness, but sometimes I guess that's what it has to be. Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't know if am I supposed to continue talking for 2 minutes? Sorry, that's all I have to say about that.
I think we lost table topics master. Why he sorts out his connectivity and joins us. All right, he's back. Toastmaster Abdullahi, please confirm you're back in the meeting room.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Apologies. My network I got cut off. So I'm looking at Toastmaster. Who's best to go next? Let's see. Liz, please. Returning Toastmaster Liz. Are you with us, please? Then returning Toastmaster Liz, can you hear me? I have a very special question for you. Okay, since I can't hear, let me pick Fums. Turning to Master Fums, can you hear me? Turning to Master Fums, can you hear me, please?
Hi, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you so much for being here. So the question is, if you looked into the heart of your enemy, what do you think you would find that is different from what is in your own heart? If you looked into the heart of your enemy, what do you think you would find that is different from what is in your own heart?
Well, speaking biologically, I would say they'll pretty much be the same thing. But if you're speaking in terms of emotions and, you know, other things aside science, I would say intentions. You know, so people have different intentions. People have different outlooks to life. So I would say my intentions may be different from, you know, whatever the other party has, you know, in their heart. So I think that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. It's been quite an interesting table topic session. I hope apologies first for the background noise. I'm still at the office. I hope I was able to ameliorate your Toastmasters experience for both intending Toastmasters and already existing Toastmasters. Thank you all so much for allowing this handsome face to ameliorate your Toastmasters experience. Do have a nice time. Over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you most graciously, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Abdullahi. All right. So typically for table topics, we would vote. For today's meeting, we would not vote because most of our speakers are intending Toastmasters. Or should we vote? It would be interesting to just get a feel of what it feels like. But I think it would be safe to say that we would give that certificate of participation to every guest that participated in the table topics session, because it takes a lot of grit to actually participate in table topics. Research has shown that when you're in Oberia, the 90% of the people would rather want to be in the casket than be the ones to speak. All right, we'll move on to the third segment of the meeting, which is the evaluation segment, where we'll get feedback on how we have fared so far, feedback on every speaker, and feedback for every role player this evening. And to coordinate that part of the meeting is our general evaluator, Toastmaster Aderonke Adekombi. Madam General Evaluator, you have the virtual lectern.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day. I must say that you outdid yourself. Well done, ma'am. I'm going to start with, as the Toastmaster of the day had rightly said, this is the evaluation session. So we're going to start from the table topics evaluator. Madam Toastmaster, can you confirm that Toastmaster, I'm not sure we have, okay, Toastmaster Yetunde is on call, so I can call her for evaluation session. Toastmaster Yetunde, can you confirm that you are here?
Toastmaster Yetunde is not here at the moment, and I will step in to evaluate the table topics segment.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Toastmaster of the day, you have the floor.
All right, thank you.
Please evaluate the table topic.
Thank you most graciously. All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will start by saying thank you to the table topics master. You said you will ameliorate this meeting with the table topics segment, and you certainly did that. I loved how you created an atmosphere of ease. I don't know if it was deliberate or if it was an aftermath of what was going on in your environment, but you started out with a chuckle, almost laughter. And it's what, for me, what I felt it did was create some sort of ease and calm, just to show everyone that, look, this segment, even though it's called Table Topics and you're going to speak on topics that you didn't have any heads up you're going to speak about, just time to relax and have fun. I love that your topics were coined in such a way that the speakers could tweak it however they like and not be boxed in a corner while trying to think about how to go about the response. Our first speaker, first respondent, was Toastmaster Aderonke, and you basically gave us a story. You were called up, you put on your camera, and you spoke with confidence. I love that you shared a vulnerable part of you with us, because what it did for me exactly was ensure that I was on the same emotional platform with you, on the same emotional page. You use the story, and you never go wrong with story, but somehow some of your listeners, or maybe all of your listeners, would have experienced or know someone who had experienced such scenario, or the description of your story or your story, someone would have experienced it and they'll be able to relate to it. Using the story made it personal. And when you speak about something that's personal to you, there's some level of authenticity that it gives to your speech. I love that you were able to narrate your story and you ended with the question. So you told us that into your estimation, was one of the most sensible things or decisions that you have had someone make. This is something that probably happened years ago, but the fact that it still resonates with you confirms that it sits, and it's definitely one of the most sensible decisions that a person had used. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. And thank you for kicking off the table topic segment and showing our guests that they could do it. Well done. Our second speaker, Fola, thank you for taking on that challenge. Usually when guests are called up to speak, they try to shy away from it. But you told us that even though it was your first time, it was not an excuse. So does what you love, and you introduced something, expert speaking. That's something that struck. I'm like, okay, yes, I would definitely want to go check that out. And I'm sure your listeners would want to also go check that out, just to get a feel of what it is that you had introduced. I loved how you were able to answer the question. And just like Toastmaster Runke did, you shared a vulnerable part of you. You went emotional. And it was almost like, yes, you will say that the way to go is up. And Toastmaster Runke kicked it off, and you continued in that trajectory. You want to abolish debt. Even though it's something you know that you don't have the powers to do, and you don't know the impact of or whether it's possible for humans to live forever and ever, it's nice to actually have that thought process that if I have the powers, this is something that I would love to do, and you shared the reason why you would want to abolish that. Told us that you lost your brother. Now, my recommendation is, at the point you spoke about that, it would have been nice to feel that. Yes, I know you have gone past that phase, but let us share in that emotional pain that you felt back then. Bring it to the fore so that your listeners will be able to connect with you, share in your pain, and then have a better understanding of why you're going about, or your response, or why you have chosen that path. Your video was off, so I am unable to gauge your your body movement and your facial reaction, but you had a very clear voice. Your voice was loud, and you definitely kept my attention on you for the duration of time that you spoke. Well done. And I hope we'll see you more and you take on more opportunities to speak, because speaking and practicing would help you get better. A third speaker, Daniel. Wow. Thank you. You basically hinted on one thing, which is an important factor that everyone should consider for table topics. There is no right or wrong answer. The whole purpose of table topics is for you to speak. And the truth is, when you're speaking to people, nobody except you know what you want to speak about. Nobody knows whether you've made a mistake or not, except you actually show them, or you react in such a way that shows that, yes, I've made a mistake. And when you were asked the question, which is more important, to love or be loved, you let us know that there was no right or wrong answer, and you felt that for you, it was important to be loved. It was important to love. It was important to be loved because it brings about being vulnerable. Again, vulnerability. It brings about vulnerability, and you let us know that it's important, especially for your kind. And when you say for your kind, I deduce that you're speaking about the male folks. Yes, the man has been placed on a pedestal where we feel that they have to be all macho and strong. But time comes where everyone, even the men, have to be vulnerable. And it's important to hear a man speak on vulnerability and its importance, and why we should not be shy or scared or afraid of it, but to own it and put it out there. You let us know that it's beautiful to be loved and beautiful to be loved. And I'm sure every one of us on this call will go out and we will show love to our loved ones, to show love to people around us, and in return, we will receive love from them. Thank you for sharing yourself with us, and thank you for answering that question and not shying away. And just like Fola, you didn't have your video on. Matter of fact, the only person who had a video on while she spoke was Toastmaster Ronke. So I'm going to say this to everyone. When you're speaking, endeavor to have your video on, because it would create even better connection with your audience, because they'll have their eyes on you. They'll be able to gauge your facial expression. Remember that over 70% of communication is non-verbal. So your mannerism, the way you use your gestures, the look at your face, whether you have a smile or you're frowning or you're sad, we're able to see and deduce, even without you saying the word. You can look sad and understand that she is sad. So try to have your videos on when next you're called on to speak. Now, Stephanie, you're asked a question. Is it possible to have pleasure without pain? Is it possible to have peace without war? And is it possible to have happiness without sadness? And you told us that nothing good comes easy. So for us to enjoy happiness and actually know and appreciate that happiness, we need to experience sadness. Someone who's never experienced sadness or never experienced pain, when you feel the opposite, the chances that you won't even know or you take it for granted. And I love that you spoke, showing up and accepting to speak for guests. It's something that I appreciate and I will always appreciate. And it, like I said, it takes a level of confidence in yourself to be able to address a question that has been asked to you. And you address these questions and you shared your reasons why you think that we really cannot feel the good things without feeling the bad things, knowing that there is no good thing that comes easy. So for someone who wants to be successful, you need to put in the work. You need to go through that pain, the hard work, If you're a student, for example, and you want to come out with good grades, you need to take time to study, the late nights, the reading, giving up social activities, giving up partying. That's the pain that comes before the pleasure. If you want to be an effective communicator, going through that pain of writing speeches, presenting your speeches, taking on table topics and just going at it over and over, getting feedback, applying those feedback, that's the pain that happens. So thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you, like I said, for showing up. Next time, please, let's have your video on so that we can connect more with you. To everyone who has participated today, you are the MVP, because the table topic segments, yes, we say it's the fun part, but it's also the scariest part for most speakers. Most people want to, yes, we want to be good, we want to be better versions of ourselves. But the truth is, when you are not called up to actually do the work, we shy away from it. Not because we want to, but we're scared of being judged. We're scared of what people would think of us, what people would say, how people will receive us. Will people like me when would they want to listen to me? Would they like my speech? What kind of feedback am I going to get from them? But the truth is, if you don't put yourselves out there, you will not get better. An interesting thing is, Toastmasters has provided a platform where there is zero judgment, zero criticism. What you get is constructive feedback that will help you do better. And that's why every segment of the meeting is evaluated. Every speaker, every role player, you get feedback from your evaluator, you get feedback from the other participants to make you better. So to everyone who spoke, thank you for taking on that challenge, and thank you for speaking. I should not forget Fums, who took on our last question. Your video was not on, but of course, just like the others, you shared a bit of yourself with us and you took on that challenge to speak. Well done to our Table Topics Master and all the respondents. Madam General Evaluator, you have the virtual lifetime.
Well done also, DTM Chidi, the Table Topics Evaluator. You did a great job. I'll be moving on quickly to the next evaluator, and that's the evaluator for Toastmaster Jane Osemwinge. I hope I pronounced that well. So Toastmaster Austin, please, you have the floor. Kindly give evaluation for Toastmaster Jane's speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Quintessential Toastmaster Aderonke. Thank you for the opportunity to serve AWN. Toastmaster Jane's feedback is as follows. She demonstrated speaking mastery with clarity of her speech. Her voice could not have been mistaken. She had good command of grammar. Eye contact was exemplary. I observed her speech was relatable. Mental health. Who would say they did not benefit from that topic? She was good with storytelling skills. Her speech was well structured. How about the call to action? And I noted some use of vocabularies. Using vocabularies ameliorates our vocabulary depth or scarcity. I listened to such words as imperative, as you would call it. Her vocabulary was exemplary. Our body language was good to go. Nevertheless, I would encourage her to look at the following areas of improvement. Maybe this is not within our control. the audio was stored for some time. It was rather breaking, truncating intermittently. I was that she was always looking up as one of those very brilliant students those days. If they wanted to quote something, they would look up. She was getting her inspiration from there. She could do a little bit away with that. She could also work with her Such words as so could be replaced with so many connectives. We encourage her to look at that. And then, even though our vocal variety was good to go, I would say it could be better with regards to changing of pitch, volume, pace. I'm talking about pace. How about, because she's so full of the topic, how about pausing for a little bit, taking some breath for us to digest some of the information she was reeling out. In conclusion, don't forget the audio, the looking up, working on your so, the and the need for you to improve on your body language. You did well with regards to use of grammar, eye contact, sharing relatable story, and your storytelling skill. In conclusion, incorporate this feedback, speak more. That is how to be a quintessential prolific speaker like Toastmaster Aderonke. Back to you, Toastmaster Aderonke.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin, for that feedback. I'm sure Toastmaster Jane got everything you said, and she will incorporate it into our next into our next speech. I'm going to call up the next evaluator, who is going to evaluate Toastmaster Austin Madueguna's speech, and that's Toastmaster Chidi, DTM. Distinguished Toastmaster Chidi Madueguna. Okay, I'm sorry, yes. Madu. Sorry, Madu.
Madam GE, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Austin's evaluation, but the evaluator for Toastmaster Austin's speech is Toastmaster Ibrahim Kazim.
Oh, yes, apologies. Thank you. Toastmaster Ibrahim.
All right, thanks so much, the general evaluator. Toastmaster Austin Maduegbina, I congratulate you for yet another wonderful delivery. Your delivery was utterly brilliant, especially your reference to a quotable quote by John C. Maxwell, when he said, continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. I think that was utterly splendid. What that normally do is that it boosts your credibility as a speaker, and of course, upscale your authenticity and what you actually deliver. Well done. Secondly, I would like to tell you that I was amazed entirely by the fact that you exuded presence of mind in the course of your delivery. You deploy the word of the day, ameliorate a countless time. That shows that you were cool, calm, and collected in the course of your speech delivery. That definitely created an aura of brilliance and authority around your persona. Well done. Toastmaster Austin Maduegbina, in order to ameliorate your your public speaking skill, I would like to inform you that to the best of my phonological sagacity, I'm thrilled to inform you that the following words should be correctly articulated as thus. For instance, you said protege, the right pronunciation is protege, and the right pronunciation of the word of the day is ameliorate. By articulating correctly, it keeps you in good stead. It stands you out like a majestic mansion amongst a cacophony of mushroom bungalows. the resounding moment of your speech, Toastmaster Austin Madrid-Greenham, was the fact that you digested and, of course, broke down the concept of mentorship when you emphasize and re-emphasize why you need a mentor. You didn't stop at that. You mentioned a number of Toastmasters. For instance, I heard you with unbridled clarity when you mentioned Toastmaster Bosede Oyekunle, who said, you are a shark in the pond. You should go outside the bounds of Delta Africa Toastmaster to further buttress your public speaking skill. I think that was well done. You didn't stop at that. You also mentioned Toastmaster Tonye Tamuo. That definitely shows that you were true and credible. In summation, I commended your use of quotable quotes. I mentioned the fact that you were cool, calm, and collected. You had the presence of mind to be told the word of the day. And also, I want you to focus on some pronunciation of certain words, protege and ameliorate. With that, it's going to serve as a pair of shoes for you in your future speaking engagements. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ibrahim. Toastmaster Ibrahim is like a grammarian and hack master combined into one. We're going to look forward to having you at True Toastmasters meeting. Apologies for bringing that into AWN meeting. Okay, moving on, I'm going to be calling my role players, that's those who work directly with me as the general evaluator for the day. Not to say that the evaluators have done anything less than the role players I'm going to call up now. And I'm going to start with the timer. Oh, I assume the timer has already done his part, so I'm going to leave him out. But I'm going to start with the lady who is wearing double cap for the day, Toastmaster Natasha Ibori, because she's playing the role of the grammarian and the hack counter. No, I think it's our counter, not hack. Yes, our counter for the day. So Toastmaster Natasha, please, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. This was a really, really great session. I'm so glad that so many people were able to use the word of the day to ameliorate their own speeches. We had countless uses of the word, particularly from Toastmaster Ibrahim, so very well done. Toastmaster Abdullahi, I mean. And I think throughout the speech, it was sprinkled around, so everybody does deserve a round of applause for that. And in terms of pause fillers, there were a number of pause fillers that we heard throughout the prepared speeches, but more so in the table topics. So I'm not going to call out anybody in particular, but I noticed that there was a kind of different way of using pause fillers, not just your regular ahs and ums. There were a lot of people using sentences to fill in gaps, and it kind of highlighted them as being more nervous speakers. So some of the ones that I was able to pick out were, I don't know, maybe that's what I think. I believe, that's my honest opinion. The word is not coming to me. That's all I have to say. You know, I would say. So all of these kinds of ways of speaking around your topic and not speaking directly to exactly getting to the point, it makes your speech more difficult to digest, and it's not as beautiful to listen to as if you did not use pause fillers. So,
Came in and interrupted me.
Can you still hear me now? Yeah. So I would say, as you are doing your table topic speech or even your prepared speech, just try and be aware of those things. And instead of speaking around your topic or prefacing it with something like saying, I believe, or I think, you can just say, just speak and get directly to the point. And when you're trying to conclude, instead of saying something like, that's all I have to say, or I have nothing else, or in conclusion, you can just say, so the summary of my topic is, and say whatever it is the summary actually is. But all in all, it's been a really good session. I know table topics is pretty difficult. So well done to everybody that took part. Back to you
Okay,
there.
thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Apologies, I was interrupted. So I'm going to call on the last role player for today, and that's the Arc Master. That's DTM Chidi Madu.
Thank you most graciously, Madam General Evaluator. I did say I will carry out my role by asking questions on what was said during the meeting. I have 4 questions that I'm going to ask. Please, if you have the answer to these questions, unmute yourself and give me a response. When Toastmaster Jane was speaking, she did say she met a sad Asian girl. Can anyone tell me in what city she met that person? What city was she in at the time?
Is it Halifax?
Halifax, correct. Ding, 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 ding. Correct answer. Thank you, Natasha. All right, second question. Who said this? We are repeatedly what we do. We are repeatedly what we do. Who said it? Who said it? Anyone? Should I call names? We are repeatedly what we do. Who made that statement? Okay, let me build the card. It was said by Aristotle, and this was mentioned by Toastmaster Austin during his speech. Toastmaster Austin quoted someone when he started his speech. Who did he quote? Does anyone know who he quoted?
Maybe not the first, but the second was Solomon.
Who?
John C. Maxwell.
Hello. Hello, let me come in.
John C. Maxwell.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Just Master Austin, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Master Ibrahim has
Sorry,
responded.
apologies. It was actually Mark Twain. Mark Twain, not John C. Maxwell. Please, apologies. Mark Twain. T-W-A-I-N.
But you told us John C. Maxwell.
Thank
All
you.
right. That's an update on his speech. Well done, Master Austin. And my 4th question. This is a 2-in-1. Say, who was the 3rd table topic speaker and what was the question he responded to? Who was the 3rd table topic speaker and what topic did he respond to? Anyone? Anybody? Did we listen to him while he was speaking? Oh, okay, I just did give an expo.
Daniel.
Right, I gave an expo. It was Daniel. And what was his question?
Do you prefer to love or be loved?
Awesome. Right, that's correct. Thank you. So we certainly did listen. Listening skill is something we need to improve on. We need to develop and upgrade that skill, because Richard has shown that most times we listen to respond, but not to understand. So let's listen attentively, listen critically when someone is speaking so that we can understand what the person is saying even before we begin to give feedback. And thank you for responding to the questions, and thank you for being attentive listeners this evening. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. The Hack Master for the day. Thank you so much. Now to my evaluation for the day. The word of the day for the meeting is ameliorate. Can you hear me?
Yes, apologies. I just wanted to point out that we are not taking the timer's reports because we actually didn't take his report.
Okay, True. Thank you for that. So let me invite the timer. Mr. Timer, please, are you ready for your report?
Yes, I am. Good evening once again. And thank you for the opportunity.
Please, you have the floor.
Okay, good evening and thank you again for the opportunity. Please confirm you can hear me. Okay,
yes,
great.
So Master Callistus.
So I will start by saying I really appreciate all those who partook in the table topics, especially. My plan actually worked because I took this role so that for the first time in the Toastmasters meeting, I will not be called upon to speak in a table topic session. And my heart rate has been fine throughout this meeting. So I would rattle on the time spent by the prepared speeches. Jane spoke for 14 minutes and Austin for 15 minutes. So they were well within time. Also for the table topics, say for Lou Washaw, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly, who spoke for 44 minutes, and for Fumbi who spoke for 44 seconds, and for Fumbi who spoke for 30 seconds, everyone spoke for above 1 minute, and all were within time. And also for the evaluators, Austin spoke for 2 minutes, and Kazim spoke for 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So they were also within time. Also, I would like to congratulate the Toastmaster and the evaluators for all keeping within time. So the meeting has actually been properly run. Thank you once again for the opportunity to take up this role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timer. Madam President or Toastmaster of the Day, can you confirm if we are to vote for the prepared speakers? Are we voting for the speakers of the prepared speeches, or they are in different categories, so no voting required?
We're not voting, ma'am.
Okay, no, thank you so much. So now to my evaluation of the meeting. Now the word of the day for the meeting is ameliorate or amelioration, which simply means improvement. If there's any part of the meeting that's where improvement is, or where the word comes to life, it is actually during evaluation session. So now to my evaluation of the meeting. For today's meeting, the meeting room was opened on time. The Toastmaster of the Day welcomed everyone unreservedly. She also took out the time to explain the meeting format. All roles were filled prior to the meeting, although the R counter, one of my role players, was noticeably absent. The TMOD responded well to the situation by getting the grammarian to fill the position of the R counter. Well done, Toastmaster of the Day. The general evaluator introduced all role players, and all role players took time to explain their roles explicitly. However, the general evaluator did not address a distinguished Toastmaster properly. And as you are well aware, respect is one of our core values at Toastmasters International. For the prepared speech session, the speakers were properly introduced as is required of Toastmasters meeting. The speakers were prepared. They offered helpful tips we didn't even need to pay for. The speakers were judicious with their time, so thank you to Toastmaster Jane and Toastmaster Austin Madwebuna. For the table topic session, the table topics were well explained by the Toastmaster of the Day. Sorry, the table topic session was well explained by the Toastmaster of the Day. The topics were appropriate and they fit perfectly into the theme of the day, which is the way up. Guests were invited to participate. The table topics master handed over to the Toastmasters of the Day when he wanted to exit the session. So well done to the table topics master. The TMOD did a good job. The transition between the sessions were seamless. Prepared speeches flowed easily into the 5 minutes break. The creative way, I forgot to mention that initially, but it's worthy of mention. That's the creative way the Toastmaster of the day told us to take the Toastmasters creed. It was quite commendable and very creative. Now, what are the improvements I would like to recommend? The first thing is the word of the day. Now, I noticed that initially we were a bit reticent with the use of the word. May I suggest that in future meetings, what I've noticed so far, and you don't really have to take this suggestion, is when the word of the day is an adjective, it's easier for people to incorporate it into their speeches. It could be the same word, but you can use the adjective adaptation. For me, I feel that it would be easier for us or for the participants to incorporate it into their speeches. Now, the second recommendation is our naming convention. I would suggest that the guest and Toastmaster be encouraged to rename themselves. This would save us some time that would have been spent by the table topics master while trying to figure out who or who isn't a Toastmaster. Generally, I think this was a good meeting. It was obvious that all the role players and speakers gave good accounts of themselves. Incorporate the feedback into this, and this might just be the amelioration needed to move the meeting from a good meeting to a super amazing, unforgettable meeting. Thank you very much, all role players. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I hand over the lesson to the Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you.
Thank you most graciously, Madam General Evaluator, for that report. And thank you to your role players for displaying, giving a spiffing display of their roles. To everyone who's made it to today's meeting, thank you very kindly for being here, and thank you for staying to this point. Remember, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help when it is required. Bearing in mind that there is a lot to be gained when you're a protege or when you're a mentor. So if you're a protege, find yourself a mentor, and if you're a mentor, find yourself a protege. Don't forget that if you want to be better, you need to keep your eyes on the map. Remember, everyone, Toastmasters guests, that the only way to go is to go up. And you can only go up when you find yourself or when you incorporate yourself into a community such as Toastmasters that provide a learning environment, that provide you with a platform and the arsenal to be better than you were yesterday. On behalf of all the role players today, thank you for being here. And this is me signing out as the Toastmaster of the Day and giving control of the virtual elected to the president of AWN Toastmasters Club. Madam President, you have the virtual elected.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's been amazing to have you all on. We are pretty early today, so I think we can just spend a little bit of time getting to know each other whilst we have some time. So feel free to unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the rest of the Toastmasters and guests. Would anyone like to introduce themselves, tell us one fun thing about you? Toastmaster Ibrahim.
Hello, yes.
Hi, would you like to introduce yourself, what you do, how your day has been, what club you're part of?
Well, I'm the incumbent president of the Ikeja Toastmaster Club, and of course, a club coach for AWN Toastmasters. Apologies that since I was nominated as one of the club coaches, I'm just joining for the first time. I look forward to being here again. Regarding my day, it's been a wonderful day. It was stressful. It's been so hectic, but I'm glad I'm using this moment to cool off the stress of the day.
I'm glad that we could provide space for you to cool off. Thank you for introducing yourself. Who else have we got? You can raise your hand if you're able to speak. I know some people are probably still in transit coming back from work. But if you don't know me, I'm Natasha, current president at AWN. I do a lot of clean energy stuff, sustainable development stuff. My day's been pretty good, honestly, can't complain. Yeah, I'm glad to have so many different faces on our club meeting. It'd be great to hear a little bit more from you before we sign out. Callistus, how are you? Toastmaster Callistus.
I'm fine, thank you, Natasha.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Callistus Okafor Onyebuchile. I'm a member of AWN Toastmasters, but I'm not a woman. My day has been splendid. It's always nice to be in a Toastmasters meeting. Get to learn a lot from other people and get to remember how much you need to work on your own speaking too. So I like being here, and I hope to be in the next meeting.
Yeah. Will you do a speech at the next meeting?
I think I'll be in time again.
You missed your speeches.
No way, you missed your speech. No way.
Let's see how it goes. Hopefully.
I'll put you down preemptively.
Nice.
Okay, well, thank you. Who else have we got on? Daniel? Are you able to speak? Blessing? Ronke? Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Toastmaster Natasha. Thank you so much for inviting me to AWN Toastmasters. I'm one of the club coaches. So honestly, this is not really an invitation. We should say that this is practically my Toastmaster too. So thank you for reaching out, because sometimes you forget. I forget, let me speak for myself. I forget that I have a responsibility to the club. So I want to say thank you to DTMGD for always reaching out, and to you too, Madam President. Well done, you're doing a good job.
Thanks for coming. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what you do, how your day has been? Yeah. You. Okay. Moving on. Daniel.
Isn't it here? She's been quiet.
Yeah.
I'm here. I've been going between two meetings. Sorry, I dropped the message. I'm sorry. Three actually. Good day, everyone. Good to see you all after a long time. And congrats on a good meeting. Sorry.
Great. Would you like to introduce yourself for those that don't know you? I guess everyone is in a lot of meetings. So I guess we can start wrapping up. Daniel, do you want to introduce yourself? I saw you unmuted. You can, and turn on your video.
Hello.
Hi.
Hope everyone's having a good evening. I'm sure we're all waiting to round up this meeting so we can all enjoy the rest of our days. The meeting was nice and entertaining. Today has been a good day. Work from home has its perks. I'm currently hungry, so I'm going to jump off the call to go and fry yam. So it's a good day round. So thank you guys for having me. I do enjoy the Toastmaster session because it reminds me I have so much to do in terms of my public speaking and a way to improve myself. What I do for work, I work with a technology company that does remote asset management in a sense. So my day usually is to meetings. Sorry, say that again? Hello? Okay. No? Okay. So my day is full of a lot of meetings, proposals, and presentations. So coming for things like this is very, very important, and it's quite helpful. And I'm able to ameliorate my skills to be able to better myself. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Well done. Well done, Daniel. Thanks for coming. Okay. Well, Stephanie, are you able to speak, or Blessing? Be good to hear from you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Blessing, and I couldn't speak earlier. I couldn't introduce myself earlier. I'm a guest. I couldn't introduce myself earlier because I was en route home. It has been a wonderful 2 hours for me, and I look forward to becoming a full-time Toastmaster. It's been amazing. I've learned a lot within a short period. And I look forward to attending more of the meetings. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Blessing. Would you be able to send your details so you could, so we can reach out to you? You can just send me a chat on Zoom.
Okay.
So you could possibly join
I'll
us.
do that. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Blessing. Okay, well, I'm not sure if Stephanie can speak. If you can, let me know.
Okay, hi, Natasha. I'm currently driving now, so I can't really talk much, but it was such an insightful couple of hours. I really enjoyed the table session, especially when I got called to speak on the spot. That really made me know or understand that I have a lot to do, especially with the space feelers. I know that's such a weak point, but it was very insightful, and I look forward to becoming a full-time Toastmaster as well. Thank you so much for a nice session.
Thanks for joining. Be careful whilst driving. Yeah, the truth is, post feelers are really difficult. Even though I've been a Toastmaster for a while, I'm still very much guilty, so it takes a while. Okay.
I hope to be better too. Thank you.
You'll get there. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I think this pretty much wraps up our meeting.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Coach Runka. Thank you to all our guests. Thank you, Callisto. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining and for coming.
Is on the 7th of April, the first Thursday in April, April 7th. So please go and mark your calendars. We hope to see you all again on the 7th of April. We'll send out an invite before that time.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. We look forward to it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.